What's happening, Manhwa Warriors? Don't forget to leave your feedback and smash that like button. Now let's dive into this epic tale. The door creaks open as Ohjin steps into a luxurious VIP room, immediately locking eyes with a blonde-haired man lounging on the sofa. The stranger's eyes narrow in annoyance. Who is this bastard? He thinks, silently sizing Ohjin up. Ohjin returns the glare, then turns his attention elsewhere. Forget it, he tells himself. I'm probably here to take the registration exam. But then something catches his eye. Laid out on the coffee table is a spread of premium snacks, milk, Pringles, and at the edge, a glistening strawberry cheesecake. Ohjin's gaze lingers. Wait a second. Aren't those desserts reserved for VIPs? His stomach growls. Are these free? He starts to drool. Back when I was a scammer, I used to envy the bastards who ate like this, he thinks. I shouldn't hold back. With a swift motion, Ohjin plants himself on the sofa and digs in. One bite, then another. His eyes light up. Damn it, it's so freaking delicious. I should pack the rest and take it home. Nuna would be so happy, he thinks, a crooked grin spreading across his face. Suddenly, a cold voice cuts through the room. Are you an effing beggar? Ohjin freezes, his cheeks full of dessert, crumbs still sticking to his face. His eyes slowly drift across the table to the blonde guy still sitting there, arms crossed and scowling. The blonde sneers, Why are you smacking your lips like that? You're ruining my appetite. Ohjin swallows, then smirks. You're quite the bold one. He leans forward, resting his elbows on his knees. It's good to see the younger generation so full of energy, even if they act without thinking of the consequences. The blonde-haired man scowls. What are you even talking about? Did you go crazy while eating? The tension in the room thickens. Ohjin narrows his eyes. Child, do you know who I am? Sweat begins to bead on the blonde's forehead. What? Who are you? He stammers. Ohjin leans back and laughs, stroking his hair with exaggerated flair. I haven't been active lately, and look what happens. Still dumbfounded, the blonde-haired man stares at him. Ohjin leans forward again, locking eyes with the now sweating man. But if you're in the VIP room, I'd think you'd know. The guy grits his teeth. Who is this bastard? He's so confident. Could he be a well-known powerhouse? Then it hits him. Wait, isn't there a rumor that some 9-star metahumans regress and their bodies become younger? Now drenched in sweat, the blonde-haired man starts to panic, and he was guided into the VIP room just like me. Ohjin breaks the silence. Which guild are you from, child? The man stammers. Ohjin crosses one leg over the other, cool and composed. You've been speaking informally since earlier. The blonde can't take it anymore. He jumps up and bows. I'm Park Jungwoo of the Pandanus Guild. Damn it, I'm screwed, he thinks. Ohjin's eyes flicker with recognition. Pandanus, one of Korea's top 10 guilds. That's the Scorpio Guild. He brushes his hair back dramatically. Chanyuk's guild? Jungwoo, wide-eyed and sweating, asks, You know my guild, master? Nope, Ohjin thinks, but he flashes a confident grin. Of course I do. Back in the day, we ate together, hit the sauna together, did everything together. Jungwoo's eyes twitch. Saunas? Ohjin chuckles. That young bastard. He's even a guild master now. I should grab a drink with him soon. He lifts his hand casually. Give my regards to that punk Chanyuk next time you see him. Jungwoo nods, still in shock. Yes, sir. Who should I say it's from? Ohjin leans in, eyes gleaming with mock seriousness. You can say it's from Kwon Jin-oh. The camera pans in on Ohjin sitting casually on the sofa, one leg crossed over the other, while Park Jungwoo, the blonde-haired guy, is now on his knees, bowing deeply. I apologize for not recognizing such a noble character and being rude, he shouts, forehead nearly touching the floor. Ohjin simply grins to the side, thinking to himself, I've been scamming for several years. A guy like this? Way too easy. He coughs lightly and waves his hand. Don't worry about it. A young fellow can make mistakes, he says with an air of esteem. Still on his knees, Youngwoo insists. No, sir! I've made a big mistake. Ohjin leans back with a sly glint in his eye. In that case, can you do me a favor? With no hesitation, Youngwoo stands at attention. Whatever you want me to do. A few minutes later, the table is now packed with takeaway bags and cold refreshments from the fridge. Youngwoo stands upright, firm as a soldier. Here you go, sir! I've even gathered the refreshments in the refrigerator. Ohjin looks at the dessert bags and smiles with satisfaction. Nuna's gonna love this. I'll be heading off now, Youngwoo says, still in a military stance. Ohjin raises an eyebrow. Weren't you here for the registration exam? I don't feel so good, Youngwoo replies, slightly bowing again. Then, be healthy, he says with a straight face, as the blonde-haired man bows one final time and exits. As the door closes behind him, Ohjin relaxes into the sofa with a smug grin. Nice! I've chased away that nuisance. He then pulls out a wallet. Now let's see how much I took from earlier. Opening the wallet, his eyes go wide. Wow! He carries a lot of cash. A quick flashback shows Ohjin putting his arm around Youngwoo earlier, grinning and saying, So you're the future of South Korea's metahumans? While stealthily swiping the guy's wallet. He chuckles to himself, but then freezes. Huh? What's this? He pulls out a small, gleaming black crystal from the wallet. A mutant's Muriel crystal. His expression hardens. These are rare. You can't just get these unless you're really high up. So why the hell is it in Park Jung-woo's wallet? He continues to study the crystal, but then hears a voice from outside the door. Excuse me, I apologize for making you wait. A towering figure steps into the room, broad-shouldered, a powerful presence surrounding him like a crimson-purple aura. I'm Han Junman, team leader of the Special Disaster Security Management Association's Disaster Countermeasures Headquarters, the man says, extending a hand. You're K-Wan Ohjin, the one with Lyra's Stigma, right? Ohjin rises, momentarily stunned by the man's sheer build. They shake hands firmly. Damn, this guy's on a whole other level compared to Park Jung-woo. A crimson glow emanates subtly from Han's body. What's your constellation? Ohjin asks casually. I'm a Taurus, SIX-STAR Metahuman. Ohjin stares, stunned. One of the 12 astrological signs. This guy is the real deal. Han observes him silently for a moment, then speaks. Is it true you have Lyra's Stigma? Ohjin hesitates slightly. He doesn't believe me. Then he thinks to himself, well, I am the first metahuman to receive Vega's Stigma. Without a word, he lifts up his shirt, revealing the glowing stigma on his chest. Han narrows his eyes, hand on his chin. If it's all right with you, would it be okay if I conducted your registration exam personally? Ohjin, slightly taken aback, replies, Yourself? Team leader? Silence fills the room, the skyline of Seoul towering through the windows behind them. Yes, Han replies. The camera closes in on Ohjin's intense expression, half amused, half uncertain, as the scene fades to black. We transition into a spacious training room, lit brightly by overhead lights and lined with reinforced glass panels. Ohjin stands at one end, spear in hand, eyes fixed on the man before him. Opposite him is Han Junman, now slipping on a pair of boxing gloves, slamming them together with a heavy thud that echoes through the room. Is it really okay to use this instead of sparring? Ohjin asks, holding up his spear with a doubtful expression. I mean, using weapons? Han lets out a hearty laugh, his hands now resting on his waist. Of course, he says confidently. A SIX-STAR Metahuman, Ohjin thinks, eyes narrowing as sweat beads down his cheek. His grip on the spear tightens. He's a SIX-STAR Taurus, one of the 12 astrological signs. Han drops into a ready stance, his aura calm but dense, like a predator waiting to strike. Ohjin mirrors the motion, his body low, his spear angled forward. Honestly, I'm curious, Ohjin thinks, his gaze sharp. Even if Lyra's Stigma is incredibly powerful, can it really bridge the gap of 4 whole stars? And not just any stars, but one held by a metahuman under an astrological constellation? The tension peaks. Well, there's only one way to find out. With a burst of energy, Ohjin leaps off the floor, lightning crackling around him as he launches forward like a bolt. Han's eyes widen. His posture solidifies, fists raised like a boxer preparing for the blow. But Ohjin is already there, his spear aimed straight ahead, a surge of blue lightning trailing behind him like a comet. The moment they clash, the training room explodes with electric energy. Arcs of lightning tear through the space, a violent storm of force and raw power. Han staggers for just a moment, taken aback by the sheer intensity. The sting of Ohjin's lightning is real, and in that instant, amidst the crackle, the impact, the realization. The scene picks up right where we left off, inside the sparring room, blue lightning still crackling faintly in the air. Ohjin's spear crashes down on Han, who manages to block it with his boxing gloves. Beads of sweat trail down his face. No way! A 2-star metahuman is this strong? Han thinks, eyes narrowed in disbelief. But Ohjin doesn't stop. Without giving him a moment's rest, he lunges again, his spear sparking with intense lightning. The crackling bolts trail behind the weapon as it cuts through the air toward Han. Han grits his teeth and throws a punch. Boom! A thunderous blow connects. Ohjin slams into the far wall, the impact reverberating through the room. He grits his teeth, clutching his spear tightly in both hands, struggling to rise. Holy shit! That power is insane, he gasps, still catching his breath. Han rushes toward him. Are you okay? He shouts. Ohjin pushes himself up, chest heaving. Yeah, I'm all right, he says through shallow breaths. Let's keep going. Han looks at him, stunned by his resolve. Ohjin steadies himself, planting his spear forward again. I can still fight, he thinks, locking eyes with Han. This guy, he's on a completely different level from anyone I've faced before. A faint glow pulses from Ohjin's chest as his Stigma flares to life. Just thrusting won't be enough. Han shifts back into his boxing stance, arms ready. I'll have to use the flow of the power, Ohjin thinks. Once again, lightning pulses across his body. With a flash of movement, he charges. Han reacts instantly, lifting his leg and deflecting the incoming strike. He didn't dodge, he deflected, just like I hoped. Ohjin grins internally. I'll use that moment. Ohjin pivots with the flow of the redirected energy, swinging behind Han. He strikes from the blind side, but Han manages to block with one gloved fist. The impact sends a surge of power through the room. Ohjin's eyes glow with a piercing blue as he feels the power building inside him. Just a little more. Ding! A system window flashes in front of him. Skill, Lightning, Level 1, has become Lightning, Level 2. The power within him surges. He whips his spear again, lightning coiling around the shaft like a living beast. Han tries to defend, but he's being pushed back, sweat pouring down his face. This guy, who is he? Han thinks, stunned by the power and precision behind every blow. But then, shit, I used too much strength. Ohjin's vision starts to blur. BAM. He collapses onto the floor. Ohjin! Han shouts, dashing over. Get the medic! Potions now! A few moments later, Ohjin sits up, weakly sipping from a blue potion bottle. Han kneels beside him, supporting his back with one arm. You're lucky, Han breathes, relieved. It doesn't look too serious. What a relief. Ohjin blinks, staring at the potion bottle. Wait, isn't this stuff really expensive? That's like 10 million won a bottle, he thinks, stunned. Han suddenly bows his head in front of him. I'm sorry. This was all my fault, he says sincerely. Ohjin looks at him, then suddenly bursts into a light-hearted smile. It's fine, he says casually. Even though I didn't win, I made a 6-star metahuman use his Stigma. That's enough for me. The two men sit quietly for a moment, a strange, mutual respect forming between them. So, this means we're done here, right? Ohjin asks. Han wipes the sweat from his brow, nodding. Yeah, we're done. The two stand facing each other. Han narrows his eyes thoughtfully. This guy, Vega's star's apostle, he's even more amazing than I imagined. Mr. Quan Ohjin, Han says, voice more formal now. Ohjin tilts his head, a little curious. I know I'm in no place to ask after what happened, but may I speak with you for a moment? Ohjin straightens up, surprised. Sure. All right. They move to a nearby office, a calm setting. Large windows reveal the city skyline beyond. On the table, 2 cups of tea, quietly steaming. Joining the association, Han says, his voice steady. I'm certain it would be of great help to you. Ohjin lifts the teacup thoughtfully. He's trying to recruit me. He takes a sip, considering the offer. Just being an apostle of a North Star is enough to increase my value. But I think I'll be better off staying a mercenary for now. I need freedom, no restrictions. I still don't know what it'll take to become a regressor. He gently sets his teacup down and leans forward. I think it'd be tough for me to join any organization. He rises to his feet. Thanks, but I'll be going now. Wait a moment, Han says quickly. Ohjin pauses. You can join the association without having to report for work, Han says, a grin forming. You'll still get a monthly salary. Sure, it won't be as much as what guilds offer, but you'd be free. Ohjin leans forward slightly, eyebrows furrowed in confusion. What do you mean by that? He asks, settling back into the sofa across from Han. Inside, though, his thoughts are already racing. Wait, I can get money without doing anything? Han, ever composed, continues calmly. It's just as I said. You'll only belong to the association by name. You can still take on any mercenary work you want. Ohjin listens intently, his curiosity piqued. We can also recommend you for paid assignments, Han adds. A heavy silence hangs between them as Ohjin processes the offer. Isn't this a total jackpot? A massive grin forms, on the inside at least. In his mind's eye, he imagines himself sprawled on a plush bed, mountains of one stacked behind him, casually eating expensive desserts. It's like being a landlord collecting rent, but better. And I won't even have to cut them a share when I get gigs. This is insane. But Ohjin knows better than to show his hand. Gotta play it cool, act charismatic, he tells himself. He lifts a hand to his chin, stroking it thoughtfully, faking the weight of deep contemplation. Han patiently waits for his answer. Finally, Ohjin speaks, his tone calm and contemplative. I'm still not sure. I'll need some time to think about it. But inside, his memories drift back. A time when he held a bell, 2 shadowed figures approaching him, beaten and dirt-covered. I lived like a dog all my life, he thinks. That's over now. I'm becoming the master. Just then, Han chimes in again. Also, you'll be exempt from paying taxes. A record-scratch moment. Ohjin's eyes fly open. What? His voice blasts across the room. His face momentarily contorts into a wild cartoon wolf as he clutches his fists. Han blinks, clearly taken aback. I'll live as the association's dog from now on. I mean, he quickly shifts tone. I look forward to working with you. Han simply sweats silently, stunned by the sudden emotional shift. Later that day, the scene shifts to a calm, picturesque shot of Seoul's high-rise buildings, trees lining the sidewalk under a clear blue sky. Ohjin walks alone through the city, hands in his pockets, head low in thought. A week from now, come and find me in the sanctuary, he recalls Vega's words. He grits his teeth. The time's come. I've prepared everything, but I'm still damn nervous. He glances side to side. In the distance, he hears the sound of people chanting. Hear our prayers, O great constellation. Bestow the power of the stars upon us lowly insects. Hundreds of people are gathered, hands clasped in solemn prayer, eyes closed, begging. Ohjin stops in his tracks, observing them quietly. I did hear a lot of people gather in front of sanctums. Desperate to become metahumans, he thinks. With how hard life is these days, becoming a metahuman is one of the few ways to survive. He casts a sidelong glance at the enormous crowd, then looks up. Above him, a massive glowing portal hovers in the sky, pulsing gently, glowing a bluish white. There are hundreds of these sanctums across the globe, he thinks. Whatever, let's just head inside. Inside the sanctum, Ohjin steps through the portal and is met with a sight straight out of a dream. A majestic golden pathway stretches before him, flowing like a river of stardust, branches stretching in every direction like a celestial tree made of the Milky Way itself. He floats momentarily in midair, stunned by the grandeur. So, this is a sanctum, he breathes. Sweat rolls down his temple. It's beautiful. He gently touches down on solid ground. The glowing celestial tree looms above him, stretching into infinity. All right, time to find Vega. He walks forward with purpose, and soon at the end of the glowing path, he sees her. Vega, bathed in golden brilliance, long hair flowing behind her, dressed in a radiant white robe. She stares silently at him. "Regressor," she says after a moment, her voice calm, eyes sharp. "You're here." Ohjin gazes at her, a wave of emotion hitting him. He closes his eyes. "I really missed you, Vega." She crosses her arms, a light blush rising on her cheeks, sweat glistening on her brow. She narrows her eyes. Ohjin snaps out of his moment. "Ah, my apologies," he says quickly, scratching the back of his head. "That kind of slipped out." "Nice, just keep playing the act," he thinks. "Like I met her in a past life, but I can't reveal everything. Not yet." Vega studies him. "Your fate is still not in place," she says flatly. "I'm not the lover you remember." Ohjin chuckles softly. "No, but in my memories, you were always this beautiful." Her blush deepens as she turns away slightly. "Flattery won't get you far. There's nothing I can do for you," she replies, though her voice falters. Ohjin smiles inside. "Good start." Vega coughs, regaining her composure. "That aside, becoming a 2-star in just 1 week?" She extends her hand, as expected of the unheavenly star. A radiant light glows from Ohjin's chest as the Stigma responds to her touch. Ohjin casually places his hands on his waist, wearing a smug smile, eyes closed. "Well, I've done this before. Remember?" Vega studies him carefully. "Now, tell me the details of the future you came from," she says, her golden eyes piercing. "In order to help you, I need to know what lies ahead." And just like that, Ohjin freezes. "Shit! Here it comes!" His mind spins. Ohjin stands in the golden sanctum, face to face with Vega beneath the starlit branches of the celestial tree. The air hums with energy, silence stretching between them. He lowers his gaze for a moment, then lifts his head with a solemn expression. In the near future, a being known as the Heavenly Demon will appear. Vega narrows her eyes, golden irises locked onto him. "The Heavenly Demon?" she repeats, tone sharp, skeptical. Internally, Ohjin breaks into a cold sweat. "That's something I made up on the fly," he thinks nervously. "Let's hope it sticks." Still composed, he continues aloud. "A demon who possesses the black heaven." A long silence hangs in the air before Vega speaks. "You're saying the Heavenly Demon is the one who possesses the black heaven?" She tilts her head, eyes scanning him for any sign of deceit. Her tone is calm, but her mind is clearly racing. Ohjin clenches his fist, playing the part. "Yes, but because the Heavenly Demon has hidden himself extremely well, no one knows his face, his name, not even if he's human." He stares into Vega's eyes, voice firm and resolute. "Not even you, the regressor, knows who he is?" Vega asks, her brows lifting. Ohjin hesitates just a beat. "Number, I tried to uncover the truth as soon as I came back, but..." He exhales. "I failed." Vega looks away, placing a finger to her chin, voice low and thoughtful. That's strange." Ohjin flinches. Her voice is calm, but his instincts scream. "If you use the Star of Oaths to regress," she continues, "boy, that means you killed the owner of Black Heaven." She turns back toward him, her gaze sharper now. "Were you not able to see his face, even after killing him?" Ohjin's mind goes blank. Pardon? His eyes widen. A bead of sweat rolls down his cheek. The star of what now? Internally, he's screaming. What the fudge is the Star of Oaths? The silence grows loud around him. He tries to hold his expression, but inside, panic, total panic. A voice booms out across the celestial sanctum. Even after he died, you couldn't confirm his face? Vega asks, her tone sharp, suspicious. Ohjin stiffens, eyes widening as a terrifying thought crashes down on him. Wait, the possessor of the Black Heaven died? He lowers his head, jaw clenched. That means Lee Shin-hyuk actually killed me. A tidal wave of confusion surges through him. Then why did this bastard even regress in the first place? But he forces those thoughts aside. Now's not the time to panic. Number. That's not what matters right now, he tells himself, raising his head and lifting both hands slowly, just enough to buy time. A bead of sweat trickles down his cheek. The moment I pierced my spear through his heart, his body turned to black dust and scattered into the air. Vega closes her eyes, lowering her head in contemplation. I see. So that's what happened. Her voice softens slightly, but her intensity remains. Do you have any way to find the possessor of the Black Heaven? Ohjin swallows hard. He's standing right in front of you, he thinks with a wry internal smirk, but keeps his poker face intact. Not currently, he replies. All I can do is wait for the heavenly demon to make his move. Vega's radiant golden form hovers over him. When will that be? She asks, voice echoing with power. Ohjin looks up, steady. In 3 years. Inside, his mind races. That gives me enough time. Enough time to become stronger, to become convincing, to keep the act going. He continues aloud. I'll train and investigate as much as I can before then. I'll dig up clues, anything that can reveal who the heavenly demon really is. Vega listens in silence and then finally nods. That's reasonable. Ohjin exhales with relief. Now's the time to wrap this up, he thinks. In 2 days, a gate will open in Mokdong, he says. There's a relic inside. I'm going to retrieve it. Vega's gaze sharpens with interest. Ohjin's mind flashes back to the memory fragments from Lee Shin-hyuk. This is it. A piece of information only a regressor would know. If it turns out to be true, it'll erase any doubt Vega has about me. Vega lowers her glowing eyes toward him. So, you plan to take the privileges that only a regressor may claim? Her golden brilliance swirls gently in the sanctum as she floats forward. My child. Her words echo through the air like a gentle hymn. Ohjin stiffens. My child? He blinks, stunned. Wait, do all constellations call their apostles this? A panicked thought flares in his mind. Do I start calling her Vega Mom now? Before he can respond, she wraps her arms around him. A golden warmth surrounds him like the embrace of the universe itself. Though the weight of the world's fate rests on your shoulders, do not overexert yourself, she says softly. Ohjin stands frozen, the warmth. Even my soul feels soothed by this, he thinks. But as her head rests on his shoulder, he grimaces internally. Lying to such a kind constellation, it really hits the conscience. Still, he breathes deeply. But to survive, I have to keep going. And then, time to drop some MSG, he smirks internally. I'm not pushing myself, Veganim, he says gently. Vega looks up, her golden eyes glowing. I'll be honest, he says, taking her hand and placing it gently on his blushing cheek. For you, Vega, I would do anything. Nailed it, he thinks triumphantly. Vega stumbles back slightly, cheeks flushed. How can you say something like that so easily? She mutters, clearly flustered. Nice reaction. Ohjin grins inwardly. He bows. Then, I'll take my leave. Solid finish, he thinks to himself. But just as he turns, Wait, Vega calls out suddenly. Ohjin halts mid-step, eyes wide. Pardon? She turns to him, smiling radiantly. I'll go back with you. His jaw nearly drops. What do you mean? Go back with me. She clasps her hands behind her back. Just as I said, I shall manifest in the mortal realm and travel with you. She speaks confidently, hands now on her hips. Ohjin panics. What the hell? Follow me! Did I go too far? But, because of the commandments, constellations can't, he stammers. Vega raises an eyebrow. Ha! Who do you think I am? A blue pulse of energy radiates from her body. My power and time will be limited. But with this method, I can manifest, to some extent. Ohjin stands there, slumped, stunned, jaw slack. What is she doing? Suddenly, yes! Vega cheers, her figure now smaller, more compact. Ohjin stares. She got so much smaller. Hovering in her tiny form, Vega places a pendant into his hands. As long as you wear this, I can manifest for a few hours at a time. Still hovering, she looks up at him confidently. After hearing how you'd do anything for me, how could I just sit back? Her voice is filled with conviction. I'll walk the dark, lonely path alongside you. She smirks. It's okay to be excited. Ohjin's inner self breaks into tears. I'm fudged. If she's coming with me, that means I'll have to pretend to be a regressor every damn day. He groans internally, soul already exhausted. Damn it. Later that evening, inside their small home tucked away in a quiet neighborhood. What? A red-headed voice shouts through the dimly lit room. Nuna Song-ha-un stares at Ohjin with eyes wide open in disbelief. Veganim? I thought constellations weren't even allowed to come to Earth because of some restraints or whatever. Isn't that the whole deal? Hovering beside Ohjin is Vega, radiant even in her tiny form, her arms crossed as she calmly hovers near the ceiling. Your words are a bit messy, Vega replies with a soft voice. If you're uncomfortable, I'm okay with you speaking normally. Ohjin just stands there, blinking in silence. Nuna crosses her arms, clearly flustered. Why are you here? Then she catches herself. I mean, why are you here, Nuna? She says, correcting herself awkwardly. Vega tilts her head, amused. That's still a bit too informal. Ohjin lets out a sigh and mutters under his breath. Nuna? The night sky stretches quietly above the rooftops of Seoul. Inside their modest home, the warm yellow glow of the lights fills the room. Delicious! Vega beams with joy, floating near the table as she takes a bite out of a hamburger. What a truly astonishing taste, she exclaims, cheeks full of food. From across the room, Nuna remains seated on the bed, watching in disbelief. Constellations can even eat, she mutters. Ohjin remains silent, watching the scene unfold. There's no problem even if we don't eat, Vega explains, but it's not like we can't eat either. She finishes the burger and wipes her mouth with satisfaction. That was delicious. Vega floats over the table and hovers there, the light from the overhead bulb glinting against her golden form. Having human food, that's a first. Well, accepting a disciple like this was also a first. Nuna squints at her, annoyed. But why did you choose Ohjin? What's so special about this guy? You told me to speak normally, so I am. Okay? Vega floats over, gaze unwavering. There is no one else in this world more special than this child. Huh? What does that mean? Nuna fires back. Vega gently lands on Ohjin's shoulder and begins brushing his face with her small hand. One day, the whole world will know, she says softly, that this child, more than anyone else in this world, will become a great being. Nuna grits her teeth, jaw clenched tight. Great. He's a great scammer, I'll give you that, she mutters under her breath. Vega glances toward her and continues. And you are also special. Nuna's expression changes, confused, unsure. Ohjin stares too, just as surprised. So, Vega can also see that Nuna is a metahuman, he thinks. Are you not aware? Vega asks, floating gently toward her. Not aware of what? Nuna responds, brows furrowed. Vega's golden eyes fix on her. I can help you, with the curse on your eyes. The room falls silent. Nuna stares forward, toward the sound of Vega's voice, her pale eyes unmoving. "No, it's meaningless right now," Vega says suddenly. "I spoke carelessly." She yawns, stretching her arms above her head. "Anyway, I need to sleep now. If I manifest for too long in this state, the restraints worsen." Her eyes flutter closed. "Then, my child, see you tomorrow." She vanishes in a soft, glowing shimmer of bluish light, returning to the pendant now hanging around Ohjin's neck. The room dims. Silence returns. Nuna closes her eyes and sighs. Just what is going on? I'm so taken aback." Ohjin scratches his head, a bead of sweat on his brow. "Yeah, I didn't expect it to turn out like this either." She opens one eye. "Hey, Ohjin." "Yeah? Come here." She pats the bed beside her with a scowl, her cheeks lightly flushed. "Let me use your knees for the first time in a while." Ohjin blinks but walks over and sits beside her. Gently, she rests her head in his lap. "Yep, using you as a pillow really is the best," she says with a smug grin. "You like it too, right?" "You're so damn heavy," Ohjin groans, looking down at her. "What was that, you bastard?" she yells. Ohjin chuckles. "I'm just joking. It's so light, it's like there's nothing in your head." She growls. "Then why do I feel more annoyed now?" Her voice trails off as she settles down, her breathing slowly evening out. "Then I'm going to sleep. What about me?" But she's already asleep. Ohjin looks down at her in silence, then smiles. "Sweet dreams," he says softly, placing a hand on her head. He leans back against the wall, a quiet comfort settling in the room. 2 days later, we see Ohjin stepping into a cave, a faint glow lighting his path as Vega hovers beside him. Following Lee Shin-hyuk's memory and the gate's opening date, I waited around 3 hours for Mokdong Gate to open. His voice echoes in the darkness as he narrates to us. "Wow? So this is the inside of the crack you mentioned?" Vega says, eyes scanning the dark cavern as they walk forward. She doesn't seem surprised by the gate's appearance. "Does this mean Vega trusts me that much?" Ohjin wonders, glancing at her. "I guess it's normal for a regressor to know this sort of thing," he thinks, a sly grin tugging at his lips. Vega floats a little ahead, curiosity on her face. "Interesting," she mutters. Ohjin stares, chuckling quietly. "She's kinda clueless, huh? Well, I was hoping this would help erase any suspicion she might have. That works in my favor." They continue their trek, the cave narrowing and the shadows growing deeper. "Still, is this a gate I can handle alone?" Ohjin thinks, tension creeping in. "I brought a few intermediate potions, but I have no idea how many stars the monster here might have." He grips his spear tightly, eyes alert. "I have to obtain Aquarius. With it, I could make potions and sell them for a fortune." Suddenly, something slithers across the cave floor. Ohjin freezes. 2 tentacles snake through the darkness. "What the?" He whips around, eyes glowing blue. In a flash, a tentacle lunges at him. He dodges just in time. "A tentacle?" he gasps. A sludge-like creature slowly emerges, a grotesque mess of greenish goo and twitching appendages. "Where did that thing come from?" Ohjin says, gritting his teeth. "Since when was it following us?" Vega hovers beside him, unfazed but unimpressed. "What an unpleasant creature. Do all gates have things like this?" With Vega watching closely, Ohjin steadies his stance. Blue lightning begins to spark from his spear. "Let's try to kill it," he mutters, charging forward. He drives his spear into the sludge, but the creature begins to glow green. "Huh, it's exploding!" Boom! Green goo bursts out, coating Ohjin from head to toe. "What the hell?" "It's even nastier when it's dead," he groans, wiping his face. Vega watches, tilting her head. Since when did so many of these things gather here?" Ohjin turns and spots a horde of similar creatures advancing. "You've got to be kidding me!" Dozens of them wiggle and surge toward him. "Since they explode on death, I can't fight recklessly," he thinks. "It limits my movements too much." The creatures swarm. Ohjin slashes through them with his spear. Each one he hits detonates in midair, spraying goo everywhere. In that case, I'll have to use that. He plants his feet, clutching the spear with both hands. Blue lightning crackles violently around him. Vega's eyes widen in shock. Wait, is he really going to use system notification? Spear lightning. Level 1 activated. Ohjin sweeps his spear across the air. Ha! A surge of lightning arcs from the weapon, blasting across the field, electrocuting every creature in its path. Boom! Green sludge rains down across the battlefield. Ohjin exhales heavily, lowering his spear. I did it, he mutters. That was a technique I could only use while being blessed before. Vega floats closer, awe in her golden eyes. I can't believe it, even after seeing it myself. I knew you'd learn fast, but this fast? She claps her hands softly. Spear lightning is an intermediate technique of my star's Stigma, she says, hovering near him. There's still room to improve, but what you just pulled off was impressive. Ohjin smiles faintly. Glad to hear that. I'll teach you other techniques later, she says, then pauses. Ah, wait. You already know them, don't you? Not really, Ohjin replies. There are parts of my memory I can't recall after the regression. One of them includes those techniques. He rests the spear on his shoulder, hand thoughtfully on his chin. Vega frowns slightly. That's strange. The Star of Oath shouldn't cause memory loss. Ohjin quickly thinks on his feet. Maybe, like the constellation commandments restrict certain actions, transcendent power might have limitations too. He throws her a sidelong glance. Using that excuse might get me through this, he thinks. Yes, that is not impossible, Vega nods, seemingly convinced. Ohjin adds with a light smile. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten what truly matters. What's truly important? Vega asks, blinking curiously. Ohjin places his hand over his chest, gazing at her sincerely. Things like my memories of you. Vega stammers, cheeks turning red. How can you say such embarrassing things so casually? She flutters backward in a fluster. Ohjin chuckles to himself. Bingo, I knew she was weak against lines like that. Vega mutters under her breath. Anyway, I feel an ominous energy. An ominous energy, Ohjin repeats, glancing toward her. It's hard to describe. Just a feeling, she says uneasily. Ohjin's expression sharpens. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the mutated Miria crystal, the black one he took earlier. The dark glow pulses faintly between his fingers. Another mutation, he thinks, narrowing his eyes. They're not supposed to be this common, and what's worse, I've found multiple of them. Something feels off. Vega scans the ground ahead and remarks, it's strange that this monster's Miria crystals are black. Sure enough, more of those obsidian-colored crystals are scattered on the cavern floor. Even Vega hasn't seen these before. Ohjin wonders. That's definitely not normal. Vega, I'm going to head deeper in. All right, she replies, hovering alongside him. I need to figure this out, he thinks, gripping his spear. Situations that even a constellation doesn't recognize keep happening. What the hell are these black Miria crystals? They press forward, stepping into a vast, jagged cavern. My child, Vega whispers, resting gently on his shoulder. I've had this feeling for a while now. It's as if we're walking in circles. Did she notice? Ohjin clenches his jaw. I guess it can't be helped. I'll use the Cane's Vivitiki Stigma I absorbed before. He sniffs the air, grimacing. Vega, this way. They turn down a tight stone corridor, guided by Ohjin's sense of the same dark presence from earlier. The sensation from those black slimes, it's coming from over there. As they move deeper into the earth, Vega's tone grows more serious. The ominous energy I felt before, it's gotten stronger. They stop. Standing before them is a massive stone statue, towering nearly 30 feet high. A cloaked woman, hands clasped in prayer. At her forehead glows a faint but intense blue light. Ohjin's eyes widen. Could that be the relic? He steps closer. Embedded in the statue's brow is a cup-shaped object, glowing with a soft purplish hue, sparkling in the shadows. Whoa, this is totally insane, Ohjin thinks, practically trembling. Just how much would that fetch? His mind drifts, fantasizing stacks upon stacks of gold and wads of cash raining from the sky. Even a 1-star relic sells for 10 million won. A 3-star? Over 100 million. A 5-star? Easily a billion. But a 6-star? Is that a relic? Vega asks, eyeing the glow from the statue. Yes, Ohjin answers quickly, eyes wide and glistening. Your eyes look weird, Vega mutters, tilting her head. I just need to grab it quickly, Ohjin says, taking a step forward. But something shifts. From the shadows behind him, a black ooze begins to form. It's subtle, barely visible in the low light. Bothersome things are back, Vega says calmly. Yeah, I figured this would happen, Ohjin grins back. These damn weaklings are just relic guardians. Several small black creatures form from the slime, low wriggling things with no defined shape. Ohjin raises his spear. Doesn't matter how many there are, I'll cut through all of them and claim the relic. He marches forward, but then, he freezes. A massive shadow looms over him, dwarfing even the statue behind. Wait, what? He stares up, his mouth agape. What was once black sludge has now transformed into a towering behemoth, a monstrous creature with a grotesque greenish body, rows of glowing red eyes, and a gaping maw of jagged white teeth. Ohjin's voice cracks. Shit. That thing looks strong as hell. Vega drifts higher, perching herself casually on top of the statue's head. Looks like you knew it'd turn out this way, she calls down. Ohjin, sweating bullets, lies through his teeth. Totally. I'll just observe as you asked me to, Vega says, smiling sweetly. Ohjin stares at her, still smiling. But inside, what do I do? The monstrous guardian takes a step forward. Its sheer size makes the ground tremble. Ohjin grips his spear tighter. Yep, I've really messed up this time. The towering creature, an enormous, grotesque behemoth, looms over Ohjin. Its many golden eyes glow across its massive body, each one locking onto him with terrifying intent. Then, a low growl vibrates through the cavern. A purple aura erupts from the beast's body like a storm cloud, casting everything around them into a deep, eerie hue. Ohjin clenches his spear tightly. Damn it, I've never fought one this big before. His body tenses. I got too full of myself, just from the joy of seeing a holy relic. He stares up at the creature, teeth gritted. What the hell did I get myself into? But then his expression sharpens. Still, it's not like I have zero chance of winning. He takes a stance. The black slimes were easy to kill. This beast, no matter how massive, must have come from those same creatures. The monster lets out a deafening roar. Ohjin envisions the various black slimes merging together to form this nightmare. He breathes out, steadying himself. Good thing I brought this along. He reaches into his jacket and pulls out a compact flare gun. I used to carry this for self-defense, and now it's going to save my life. The monster's mouth gapes open, dozens of sharp teeth glinting in the dim light. Eat this, you bastard! Bang! He fires the flare directly into the monster's face. The intense light floods the creature's vision. Its many eyes squint, shrink, and snap shut. Now! Ohjin grabs his spear, bolts toward the beast, and begins to charge. I've only got one shot. A trick like this won't work twice. He leaps into the air, raising his spear high. Lightning begins to surge from its tip. I'll put everything into this one attack. Blue lightning! Crack! The moment the spear pierces the creature's back, the entire cavern erupts in radiant blue energy. The monster roars in agony, its body convulsing as lightning rips through it. Ohjin holds on, the spear buried deep. But the creature doesn't go down. It's still alive. Suddenly, tentacles burst out from the creature's back, flailing violently in all directions. Ohjin ducks and weaves, dodging desperately as the tentacles try to swat him away like an insect. The monster roars again, louder than before. "So one attack isn't enough," Ohjin growls, gritting his teeth. He plants a foot on his own spear and springs off it, soaring above the creature's body. Tentacles chase him through the air. He whips out a grappling rope, latching it onto a jagged cliff edge above. He swings to the side, barely dodging a flurry of tentacles. "Damn it! If I hadn't dodged just now, I'd be dead." He cuts the rope, flipping midair, and lands right back onto the monster's back. Fist clenched, lightning coursing through his arm. "A million bolts, you bastard!" Bam! He punches down hard. The impact shakes the monster's body as a violent surge of lightning rips through it. This time, the creature shrieks and begins to collapse. It lets out a final groan before crashing to the ground, its massive body stirring up clouds of dust. Ohjin stumbles back, panting. He watches as the monster's headless body hits the earth with a resounding thud. "Gotcha," he mutters, barely able to stay upright. His legs shake, his hands tremble. He's utterly exhausted. "Did I push too far using blue lightning twice?" He leans against a rock, catching his breath. "Still, I did it. I actually beat that thing." But then, a deep whirring sound echoes through the cavern. "My child, it's dangerous!" Vega's voice cuts through the silence. "Huh? What?" Ohjin turns, confused. Crack! A giant tentacle whips out of the shadows and slams into Ohjin's chest. He flies across the cavern, smashing into a stone wall with bone-rattling force. Dust explodes outward. "Ohjin!" Vega swoops down in a panic, racing toward his body as the dust settles. The monster's guttural cry ripples through the cavern like a shockwave. Still standing, it now appears more terrifying than ever. Its eyes, once golden, now burn a deep crimson. Where its head used to be, a grotesque mass of tentacles rise, pulsating with malice. A single, glowing red eye emerges from the center of the chaos. Ohjin, still crumpled on the ground from the earlier blow, stares up at the monstrosity in disbelief. "Holy shit! It's not dead! And it's even changed form!" He gasps, scrambling to his feet. His heart pounds, his muscles tremble. "Damn it, I have no choice!" He whips his gaze toward Vega, who's hovering nearby in her small form, watching silently. Lowering his head, his voice earnest, he says, "Vega, please." He bows. "Give me a blessing." Vega blinks, momentarily caught off guard by the plea. Then, without hesitation, she raises her hand, and a blast of starlight bursts from her body, flooding toward Ohjin. A system notification chimes. "Vega has bestowed upon you the blessing of the stars." In an instant, Ohjin's body is enveloped in a brilliant turquoise light. Lightning arcs across his skin, crackling with divine power. Another system message follows. Proficiency of Lyra's Stigma has temporarily increased. Ohjin breathes in sharply, feeling a new surge of energy course through his limbs. "This feels even stronger than last time," he mutters, eyes gleaming. "I must have grown since then." Power radiates from him in waves. His once weary stance transforms into a poised readiness. Then, boom! A sonic shockwave explodes from the ground beneath him as Ohjin dashes forward, lightning trailing behind him like a comet. Ahead, the creature roars again, unleashing a storm of tentacles, hundreds, swarming toward him like vipers. Ohjin sidesteps, ducks, weaves, springing off the writhing limbs as if they were platforms. Lightning arcs across his fists. One bolt, per punch. He slams a punch into one tentacle. Crack, another. Bam! Each strike sends out a surge of blue lightning that rips through the monstrous flesh. "I'm burning through my mana fast," he growls, panting. "But who cares? Right now, my mana feels endless." He cocks back one final, massive punch. Lightning swirling like a storm around his arm. "Take this!" And he hurls it forward, straight into the monster's grotesque red eye. BAM. The impact erupts with a brilliant flash. Ohjin stands amidst the fading smoke, still tense, electricity flickering wildly around him. He clenches his fists tighter, veins bulging in his arms and neck. His body trembles with overflowing power. Just a little more, he mutters, teeth gritted, his breath ragged. Just a bit more, and I can reach something. Lightning crackles violently from his body as the stigma on his chest begins to pulse. His vision starts to blur. Veins in his eyes redden as raw energy threatens to consume him whole. Then, stop! Vega's voice rings out like a bell through the cavern. Ohjin freezes mid-attack, his clenched fist still glowing with surging lightning. He whips his gaze toward her. What? Vega floats calmly in the air, golden robes fluttering around her. It's already over, she says softly. Ohjin's breath catches in his throat. He slowly turns to look where the monster once stood and sees only ash and black smoke swirling in the dim cavern light. The creature is dead. What was that? Just now, he thinks, his muscles still trembling from adrenaline. He looks down at his hands, the lightning still dancing across his skin. His heart pounds like a war drum in his chest. Suddenly, agony. Ohjin drops to one knee, clutching his chest in pain. His eyes go wide as the searing heat of something uncontrollable erupts within him. Vega's eyes narrow as she floats toward him. What's wrong? She calls out. Then her expression shifts. Could it be? A soft glow emits from Ohjin's chest. The stigma begins to shift, its shape morphing, expanding, growing. Lyra's stigma has leveled up to 3 stars. Lightning level 2. Lightning LV3. Blue lightning level 1 to blue lightning 2. 3 notifications flash across his vision. Ohjin gasps. I reached 3 stars, he whispers. Vega floats above him, stunned. It hasn't even been a month, she thinks. To go from 1 to 3 stars? On a northern star stigma? She grits her teeth as sweat trickles down her temple. This shouldn't be possible. Raising even 1 star should be 10 times harder for a stigma of this caliber. Then, Ohjin wavers. His body sways. And then, thud. He collapses to the ground, unconscious. My child, Vega cries out, darting toward him. She lands beside him, her small form glowing faintly. Ohjin, wake up! She kneels beside him, grabbing his hand. His face is pale, his breathing shallow. A stillness settles over the cavern. Wake up, Ohjin! Vega screams, voice cracking, but there's no response. Ohjin has fallen into a deep unconscious state, his body overwhelmed from the battle, his power, and the awakening to 3 stars. Find out in the next episode. But before you go, don't forget to tap like if you enjoyed the episode, subscribe for more epic recaps, turn on notifications so you never miss a chapter. And with that being said, Manhwa Champions, we're going to bring this video to an end. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will catch you all later.